Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is your host, Jesse, Jeezy, whatever you want to call me, and this is Up Next Podcast, and we have our next guest here, Miss Toni. Miss Toni, go ahead and say hi to the audience.
Hi, I'm Toni, Antoinette, so whatever you want to call me.
Yeah, and so we're doing it here from my backyard, as you guys could tell, with all these little multiple cameras here. You guys can't see the nice view of the mountain, but it's a beautiful day. You know, got birds chirping. I'm pretty sure you saw all the little birds' nests there. We're infested.
Yes.
So
yes. Yeah. Luckily they seem very nice though. They didn't attack me or anything. So.
Yeah, they're nice. They're sweet. They're swallows, but they poop everywhere. Yeah. So I just had before you guys got here. I was cleaning the backyard, the front yard. I was making sure it's presentable when you guys walk up.
Yeah, it's nice and clean. So thank you.
Well, thank you for making it out here. Sorry, I'm spilling my drink over here. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am a mom. I'm a wife. Been married 17 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Congrats. That is impressive.
Yeah, we got married.
Especially in this culture and this nowadays.
Yes, definitely. It has been a roller coaster, but I would say we are the strongest I think we've ever been.
Oh, that's great.
So thank you to therapy, ADHD meds, all those fun things.
Okay. No, I like that. How many kids do you guys have?
I have one daughter.
Okay.
She's 9 going on 31, but...
Yes. 9 going on 31?
Yes.
How's that?
She's an old soul.
Okay.
I feel like went through her teenage years and her terrible twos, but no, she's our little broke bestie for sure.
Oh, so, that's awesome.
Yes, but yes, I'm a mom, wife. I work full time, and then I do a little side hustle that we started because of my daughter. Okay. So.
Well, you can plug it in, so okay. I'd love to hear about it.
So, she was born with clubfoot, bilateral clubfoot. So instead of her feet, or our feet are just straight like this, they were in and curled. We didn't find out until she was born, and my husband was like, "Hey, like her feet, she was all tucked in, they're all nice and tight." And then the nurse was like, "No, like we'll talk to you about that later." But then. Yeah, so it was a whirlwind of that, and we had a local provider that we came to, and they weren't the best. They kind of messed up her feet a little bit.
Really?
Or a lot of bit. So we had to...
They try to do surgery or something?
Well, originally in the hospital, they told us that we had to break her legs. They told my husband that. So...
I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
No way.
Between that and then not knowing what it was or what's wrong with her, because they said usually babies with clubfoot have a lot of neurology issues, or Down syndrome, or just really? A lot of delays. Yes, so of course we assume the worst.
I would too. I mean, I'm a first-time parent myself. My my child is
they turn into your parents.
18
months.
Run your life. It's like those commercials. Turning into your parents. You know, that's kind of how I am. Yeah, if anything were to happen, I would just be freaked out, especially when they're bringing up stuff like that.
Yes, and we struggled with infertility. So this was 7 years into our marriage. Yeah. That we had her, so we were like, whatever it takes. Whatever, God blesses us with, we're going to be happy. So, thankfully, my husband kind of took over the caretaker role of myself and my daughter because I had really bad postpartum depression and anxiety. So, during that...
How did that affect you, if you don't mind me asking? Because I've always been kind of like... I know it's a hormone issue, so I'm kind of just curious with like that, like how did it affect you?
Oh, horribly. But so when I thought of postpartum, I feel like a lot of the aftercare issues aren't talked about with women. It's just you're pregnant, go to your prenatal appointments, and good luck, you have a healthy baby, goodbye. So thankful, like I always pictured postpartum as like you want to just get rid of your child. Basically,
that's what I always kind of remember hearing stuff like that. But it's a mixed bag of things.
So one day I was sitting there crying my eyes out. And my husband's like, I think you have postpartum. I think you need to go to the doctor. And I'm like, I'm fine. Like, it's fine. So just like he would bring up little things that was a change in my personality. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's right. Mm-hmm. So I ended up going to the doctor, and then they diagnosed me with postpartum depression. And
they put you on meds or anything like that?
I was very anti-meds.
Oh, okay. So you were just no meds.
I was gonna raw dog life, but then I started therapy, and my therapist, bless her heart, I'm still with her. She told me
that's good, by the way. Yes. So not a lot of people, kind of, I guess, swallow their pride enough to seek help.
Yes.
I know on this platform I've advocated a lot for mental health, especially for men that are just suffer in silence.
Oh, yes, for sure. Yeah. And I think that's like, I'm not going to get emotional, but I feel like that's what I'm most thankful for, like with my husband, like just seeing that in me, because I didn't, notice any of that in me. I wasn't going to cry today. So I ended up going to therapy, and she told me, like, if you had cancer and you could take a pill and it would fix you, would you take it? I'm like, well, yes. She's like, if you had high blood pressure and you had to take a pill, would you take it? I'm like, well, yeah. She's like, well, your brain is the most important organ, one of the most important organs in your body. Like, you need to take care of your brain too.
Absolutely.
So that kind of like clicked for me. So I started taking it, and I feel like it helped me at least get out of the house some more. Mm-hmm. But my husband, again, pulled me out, and he did like a lot of research for clubfoot. Circling back to that.
Yeah.
Just because I feel, we didn't have that picture perfect, like, birth. Oh my God. So I think that's what contributed a lot to like my postpartum. Ew. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Which, by the way, shout out to your husband, Eli. He's off camera, people.
Yes.
And he's with us right here next to us. Enjoying this lovely day.
Yes.
I know, tears and all, but, it's a lovely day.
Yes. So, yeah, he did a lot of research for clubfoot. So he dragged me out of the house one day, and he's like, we're going to go for a drive, and, just get in the car. I got the baby. We're good. So we were talking, and I'm like, geez, this is so far. Like, imagine if we had to drive out to Mission Viejo all the time. So we ended up going. It was World Clubfoot of California. Mm-hmm. So it was a huge event. There were a couple hundred people, and just you could see a bunch of babies and their casts and kids running around. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So we just started talking to different people, and then one of the ladies we were talking to ended up being a doctor at a practice there. She saw our daughter, and she's like, please come and see us. Like, I feel like you need a second opinion. Yeah. Because she didn't like the way her feet were looking. So I'm like, okay. We took her. Of course, the insurance didn't cover it.
Of course not. Yeah.
I had to fight for going to that provider since it was a HMO. Mm-hmm. So we decided to end up switching over to her as a provider, and it was weekly visits to Mission Viejo. For a good 6 months, I think. So we were paying out of pocket for everything. So that's kind of how.
So was it like kind of physical therapy? Is that what it was? Or was there more to it?
So it was casting. They call it the Ponseti method. So they basically cast her whole foot from the bottom of her, or the top of her toes, all the way up to her thigh.
Okay.
And they just stretch her Achilles tendons and all her muscles in there. And, so we had to change those weekly so they could just rotate her feet up and out. So yeah, it was a lot.
So I know we kind of opened the question on that one was because you said you had a side business, and
yes.
What was the side? What's the business? Yeah.
So I started.
Just going back to it.
Yes, thank you. I started making caramel apples and little chili candies, which are these right
here.
Okay,
nice.
So they're basically like the chamoy candies.
Which I always bring snacks for my guests. So there's snacks there, M&Ms and little gummy worms. So.
The M&Ms.
And you got the chamoy ones, so those are even better.
Yes, they are.
Like,
pretty good.
Nice.
So
you say you make those?
I do. I make the candies I buy from the store, and then I make the chamoy sauce that goes on top, and then the chili powders. I mix about 7 different.
Wow. Okay, so you make it by scratch. Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, what goes into chamoy? What would you categorize as chamoy? You know, it's like I just like Mexican candy. So I'm like,
it's
eat it.
Sweet, salty. I make mine more on the saltier side, just because I like to drink micheladas and grub on these.
Okay.
So yeah, and then the powder I put on top is more salty sweet. Because usually the candies are also sugary and it's a good balance. So.
Okay. So you're a michelada person, huh?
I am. I love beer. I didn't used to, and then after I had my daughter, all my taste buds changed, and yeah, I love tomato things and.
Yeah, because pregnancy changes you, so I know it definitely changed her. Even her going through it is because she was like, man, I never liked. I'm sorry, my wife. You know,
we were talking
I don't like
earlier.
to be like, her. Like, who are you talking about, Jesse? My wife.
Yes, that one.
Yeah. So, her thing was like cereal. You know, it's like I know for a fact. When I was a kid, I loved cereal. Not so much as an adult. You know, But that was her kick when she was pregnant. It was just like cereal.
What all types of cereals or what kind?
Sugary, you got your Frosted Flakes, your
Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops, Lucky Charms.
Yes. Yeah, I make a good
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Always my fave.
Oh yeah, that's good. But see, now I will do cereals dry.
Okay.
I won't even put them in a bowl with milk or anything. It's like a little snack.
yeah, a little Chex Mix type of snack.
Yes,
yeah.
So good.
Yeah, which that's one of my favorite snacks as well, just Chex Mix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you tried the Puppy Chow Chex Mix?
No, never heard of that.
Okay, next time.
Is that like a new snack? Because I just go to the store. I recently bought Chex Mix because that's my road snacks. Anytime I go on the road. Never heard of it.
It's usually around Christmas time, but the Chex Mix actually made it like their own thing. But it's peanut butter with chocolate, and then because it's not enough sugar, confectioner sugar all around it too.
Yeah.
And it's so good. Okay. So if you like peanut butter and chocolate and that crunch.
Sounds good.
Yes. Next time I come, I'll bring you some.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of waiting on those candies over there.
Oh, okay. So these ones are the little neon trolleys. My daughter made these ones, so they're a little more
and you can show them to the camera.
Than I make them. So there's these ones, and then they had these cute little dinosaurs that we found. They're so cute.
Oh, they're like little dinosaurs?
Yes, little gummies. Whoop.
Oh, cool.
Yes, so pass them down. You can help yourself.
All right. I'm going to grab me some in a little bit. I got my little whiskey here, so for those who keep looking like, what's he drinking? It's like, no, it's not apple juice.
But ice cold apple juice is pretty legit.
Yeah.
And my water here.
So, I mean, besides that, I mean, kind of let me know what's other interests and hobbies or stuff you're into.
Honestly, it's just I've made so I ended up fundraising. Sorry, back to business again.
No.
I ended up fundraising. She ended up having a major surgery in Florida 4 years ago, where we had to fly to Florida for a specialist to cut her Achilles tendon, and
wow,
it was a tendon lengthening surgery.
Which is, quick little side note. I've been seeing some crazy radical surgeries now. I don't know if you've seen those where they've like cut people's legs and stretched them out to get tall.
Yeah,
like,
I saw that.
I don't know if you've seen that too.
Yeah,
it's the one that stood out to me because I'm gonna say this and shut up after this. But there was this little person. It was like like someone panned to the camera. I was like, here, the tallest little person you've ever seen.
Yeah,
and then the guy's like full grown, and I'm like, oh wow. But still had the features of a little person.
Yes.
And I was like, that looked weird.
It is amazing, what they can do now. But
yes.
She literally had buttons at the bottom of her feet to hold the tendons in place.
Oh, okay.
To help stretch them. But yeah, we raised over $12,000.
Wow.
To get us out there just by selling my treats. So
nice.
when people we had so much support, family,
And
friends, coworkers.
where can we find these? Like, do you have a website? Do you have an Instagram?
I'm on Instagram, Lily's Lovely Treats. So LILIS _lovely _treats. So it just became. It was that good that people just wanted me to keep selling. So in this economy, you kind of have to have side hustles now to.
It's like you need several side businesses.
Yes. So I do this. I make sourdough bread. I'll make cookies, and now that
I gotta try that sourdough.
Yes.
I'm like, that's one of my weaknesses is bread.
I got you.
So I've seen this craze where everyone's homemaking now. That bread, sourdough.
Yes.
So where did that come from?
Butter. TikTok,
I guess.
And because I do vendor events too, I see other people, and their little ventures, and I'm like, I'm very cheap. Plus, again, the economy. So I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a loaf of bread for $20, but I'll make it for us.
Yeah, I think there you go. I think you hit the nail on the head, because it was like one of the reports that came out, like, Gen Z is discovering making their own coffee at home.
Yes.
And they're like, Yeah,
I'm like, I know what's going to hurt my stomach, what's not, and the flavors you like. So, and it's just, when we're struggling or whatever, I'm like, hey, we can make hot dog buns, hamburger buns, or we haven't bought homemade bread, or we haven't purchased bread for, I'd say, like 2 years.
Wow.
Maybe twice we've cheated. So, and just did like hot dog buns because we needed breakfast or dinner.
Yeah, hot dog buns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's
so
amazing.
I mean, what would something like a loaf of like sourdough bread? What would that cost? Like,
for me, I ask for $10, or $12 for inclusion. So like jalapeno cheese. I've done when the Dubai craze was out there. I did the little Dubai chocolate. Stuff mixed in there.
So you sell all these things on your website and Instagram. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just word of mouth. So we're family, friends, coworkers.
Okay.
So it's been a big blessing for us the past couple years.
I'm curious to try that bread. So send me a loaf.
I will. I got you. Savory, or you like jalapeno cheese?
I like this. I'm a plain kind of guy. Okay. I like just the bread. Let it do all the work.
That's what my husband.
Anything extra is just extra, and I'm a plain bagel guy.
That's my daughter too. I love the cinnamon crunch or the cinnamon raisin.
Well, my wife likes the everything bagel stuff, so she has like the little seasoning stuff.
Yep,
So.
she put those on her eggs.
Yeah,
my daughter loves that.
I think so.
Yeah, tell her to try that.
Well, the baby always just loves anything with cream cheese, so we got to put something on it. He can't eat anything plain.
Yep.
It's always got to be with something
condiment
sugary.
Baby.
Yeah.
That's ours. Ketchup. We just got her to like mustard.
Okay.
The what is it? The Chick-fil-A sauce.
Chick-fil-A sauce.
We buy it, the big one at
they sell
stores.
it separately, don't they? They have like a little bottle of it. Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
when we make her sandwiches, can you do my Chick-fil-A sauce, please?
Yeah. I know, and they have like chicken frozen patties that you can just kind of like
everything you can make at home.
Put it
now.
all together. Yeah. You can just manufacture it yourself.
Yes, and then we just discovered the Jersey Mike's relish. Well, I just discovered it. My husband been trying to make me try it, but then finally I stopped being stubborn and I tried it.
Okay.
Game changer.
Is it now? Yes. I'm not much of a pickles or relish guy.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're missing out.
All right. I don't know. I'm not, that soury taste. I get it when it's a balance and you kind of have that a little extra flavor, but no.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I think that's why I like the michelada so much.
I'm a plain kind of guy. That's what I say, like plain bread. So like throwing like something sour like pickle or relish, is like, man.
Yeah, it's not needed. It's not necessary.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to bring up, because I saw you guys out there, I think it was Redlands, kind of for the protest.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
Yes. So I have been, seeing all this mess on the news, TikTok, and Instagram. Our neighborhood. And I try to stay out of politics, but I feel like this is so much more than politics.
It is, yes.
It's not about politics, it's just human rights at this point.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. It's been such a you can't ignore it anymore.
No.
I'd always be there for the community whenever, but yeah, this thing just goes so far beyond. You can't ignore it.
Right. So when I saw that they were having a protest, I told my husband, I'm like, I think I'm down to go. Because when they started detaining people that Monday, there was a protest at the immigration office in downtown San Bernardino.
Yeah.
So I'm like, can we just drive by? I just want to, because you always see these bad things on the news where, they're lighting cars on fires or they're fighting or whatever. So when we drove by that, I'm like, you just felt like this, I don't know, you just felt it in your spirit. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just, so I'm like, okay, I think we'll do the No Kings protest.
Well, props to you guys.
Thank you.
I mean, because I don't even know where I was at, but I think we had plans or something, and I wanted to go, but I saw it all over the news, all the coverage, everybody that was involved, every major city that you could imagine just being part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I worked that Saturday, and I'm like, let me just drive by the Redlands one, see how that one is going. And that was packed. You saw all different races, ages, like people in wheelchairs and walkers. And like, I just drove by and I called my husband. I'm just crying. I'm a crybaby, as you can tell.
It's all right.
But I'm just like, it's so beautiful seeing everybody come together, because you only see the negativity online. So it's like it's beautiful to see. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let's take our daughter too, which we were, and he was still like apprehensive. But I'm like, we'll stay away from the crowds, and if it starts getting crazy, we'll leave. So
and it was all like peaceful.
Everything was peaceful.
Good. Because I know the only thing it got a little hairy was Riverside, where that one girl, she got ran over, and I think they caught the guy, right?
Yes, finally.
And it was like two people. Actually. Yeah.
Yes. So we ended up going to Fontana, and that was huge. It was again beautiful. And then, but we wanted to do Riverside, but I'm like, I feel once nighttime starts approaching, people start
nighttime, crazy. More crazy.
Yes. And I'm like, there's less people, like you can't, everyone's in dark, or dark clothing and covered, so you're not going to tell who's being the travieso and who's actually here for the good cause. So, but
I think also, I mean, it happened in the street, so people are walking in the street, so...
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was kind of telling my wife too. It's like, oh, but we have the baby. It's like, we can't. We can't be out there like how we used to be, more active, more like putting ourselves in those kind of positions.
Yeah, because I'm assuming the girl, from what I saw, the girl that got hit, she wasn't even the one hitting the car either. Yeah. So it's like, it's always the innocent people who aren't being...
Correct, exactly. So, kind of like there was a shooting, right?
Yeah, in Vegas.
Salt Lake.
Oh, maybe there too. There was one in Vegas as well.
I didn't hear about the one in Vegas, but I saw the one in Salt Lake where there was I think confrontation. I'm remembering off memory, but it was just something where I think he was confronted, or I think he was a shooter gonna shoot the protest, but they got the guy, and he tried to blend in with the crowd, but they found him.
Yes.
And it wasn't even the shooter that shot the innocent person. It was like the cop retaliating to shoot him. Oh. And was obviously just firing away and hit an innocent person.
Wow.
So they're blaming the shooter for it.
Of course.
He's being charged for it, even though it was the other person.
Yeah, and that's why, like, we told our daughter, like, and we try to explain everything to her too, like why we're doing what we're doing, and just to be aware, because once you see things are getting crazy, like, that's your time to exit. Just keep everybody
things
safe.
Getting a little pushy and tensions rising.
Yeah, definitely. But we loved it. There's another one planned. I think it's No Kings 2.0. Really?
I haven't heard that one.
Yes, for the 4th of July.
Okay.
I think
makes sense.
Yeah. So I think it's just now getting coordinated. So I'm hearing, like, some people are like, oh, we're all blue, like, if you want to support, or... Yeah. But I know it's hard for people just to get out there, so I feel like just sharing on social media, just being able to have a civil conversation, that's hard these days for people.
It's so hard because people get so...
worked up.
Yeah, they get so just in their mind. It's very much me against you, my side versus your side. Right. regardless of, they won't look at the imperfections
Exactly.
of like, well, you're kind of standing on a platform that has all these kind of like, you know, just bad policies,
Right.
bad, you know, everything.
Yes.
Wrong people in charge.
Right.
You have people that are just straight idiots.
Yes.
But this is America.
Right.
This is what they voted for.
Yeah. They did. But we're all finding out. No.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was really good about the No Kings protest was I was telling my husband, like, are we crazy? Like, are we like, you know, so seeing everybody else for the same cause or, you know, just loving people was very refreshing. And I
Yes.
feel like, cool, no, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm not going to shut up. I'm not going to, you know, I'm still going to care for people.
Yeah, it breaks my heart, like seeing like our community just, you know, hardworking. You know, some of the hardest working people I know, some of the most humblest people I know, and you know, it's like they're just trying to put like a blanket over, like, oh, well, we're just going after the bad guys, but it's not.
Criminals, yeah.
You know, you just put the blanket over it, and you just, well, we're just going to take everyone.
Right. Yeah, because if you're seeing the actual videos from, you know, Instagram or TikTok or whatever, they're taking whoever. They're not asking for IDs. They're not asking for anything. It's just, hey, let's look at your skin color and let's take you.
Absolutely.
So, or, oh, you're working here, you must not be legal,
and they know it's illegal. They're masking up. They're going in civilian clothing. They're unmarked vehicles, you know?
And even just how they're dressed, too. Like, you're in dad shoes. Those are, like, you would think some combat style shoes or something. Like, you're in sneakers. That doesn't look, I don't know. So, but, yeah. I'm interested to see where, I don't know if you've seen the bounty hunters, how they're saying they're getting paid like $1,000 a person.
I didn't hear about that, no.
And that's why they're really going after people or whoever, because it's $1,000 a head. So
never heard of that one. I heard the rumors on that one. Because again, I don't know how much legit.
Exactly.
That's how you really hide the conspiracies.
Yes.
You flood the internet. You flood
the
people
information
with
overload.
lies and misinformation. So it's kind of like there's so much bad going on at the same time. It's hard to sort it out. Hard to focus it.
Right.
So.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what makes you start feeling crazy. Like, wait, is this real? Yeah.
Oh, it's real.
Yeah,
it's
and that's what's sad and sick.
Crazy times. I've never thought in my lifetime it'd get
never
this bad, but here we are.
Yeah, I didn't think our babies would have to. That's why I'm like, the world's getting better. There's more, you know, opportunity for people, but like, I'm scared to go places without my husband because, you know, he's our bodyguard. He's, but it's just. I don't know. It's a different world for sure.
And you know, it's bad here, but you kind of look at it on the other side of the ocean. It's kind of almost worse there. Tensions,
heartbreaking.
Yeah, are beyond. I mean, it's gotten past the point of no return, and there's straight out war going out there. I mean, we're like minutes away from getting sucked into it. I mean, I'm waiting to hear a breaking news
or that,
you know, like, exactly. Like, you know, we're gonna have the purge siren going off next.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. We were somewhere, and I heard that sound. I don't know if someone was playing it on like the radio. I was like,
I'm sure that's next. Yeah, that sounds
potential. Like,
yeah. But yeah, it's horrible with just like, oh my goodness, just, you know, it started with the Ukraine and the Russia, now it's Israel and Iran. Yeah, yes. So it's like, what's next? I think Pakistan and India are still fighting it out, right? That's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we're literally everyone's just so pissed off.
Yes, and then we're just in everyone else's business, but.
Again, where's Michael Jackson when we need him, man? Right? You know, to unite us all.
Luigi. I keep singing that song, We Are the World.
Yeah. That's what I was saying, like, in my last podcast. It was like, you know, we need that, like, good music, Beatles music, or Michael Jackson that used to make everyone all, like, nice and happy. And now there's nothing there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's all synthesized.
Yes. But thankfully, there's still a lot of people that are positive out there. So I try to gravitate more towards those people. Yeah. So. those are
That's
my tribe.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, find your community and just be happy and leave people alone.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
and, yeah. The Let Them book. I forgot who the author is, but that book helped me out a lot.
What's it called?
Let Them.
Let Them.
You may have seen it circulating around Facebook. A lot of people are getting tattoos that said "Let Them," and I knew it came from somewhere. I thought it was like a poem, but she ended up writing a book. So it's just, let people act how they want to act, and you don't have to be a part of that mess. So
yeah, I mean, to me it sounds something similar to like the Beatles, like "Let It Be," just let it be.
Exactly. Yes.
That book's by Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins. There you go.
Let Them. I recommend it.
Okay.
All ages.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I know I get a lot of recommendations with all my guests, like, oh yeah, you should check this out, or you should watch this, and I always try to give my recommendations. So I was like, movies or music or artist or,
Yes. What kind of music do you like?
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, my playlist is so random. It could be like rock, rap, hip hop, R&B. But the ones that stand out the most are kind of just, like Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's kind of more like rock bass, I guess, is more that. But yeah, they're one of my favorite bands.
Nice. Yeah.
How about yourself?
Same. I'm everywhere, depending on my mood. If my daughter's with me, usually it's a lot of. She likes all of our stuff too, but anywhere from country to R&B, ratchet. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds like my wife, because she'll put on some Meg the Stallion and just get all like exactly ratchet. And I'm like, oh god. Like, hey, I'm cleaning. It's a Saturday.
Exactly.
Yes. And that's really what it was right now earlier. Like, we were cleaning.
Yes. Yeah, you have to get in the groove. Like, we were at the gym earlier, and I'm like, I cannot. Like, nothing was sounding good. And I'm like, you ready to leave? Okay. Yeah. We're trying. It's hard.
No, that's good. We've started doing our little walks around the neighborhood. Baby has like this little chair or a bicycle that you could push with the handlebars, and it turns as he's turning it. But we've been trying to just walk.
And you have the nice little inclines here too.
Yeah. It definitely adds more weight because he's like 25 pounds, so you're like pushing him up the hill, so it adds that resistance.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. We have a hill or a big incline in our street.
Yeah, I saw like with that map you guys shared. You guys are over there by Highland. So what's the latest on that fire?
Thankfully, it was out. That's why we were able to shoot out. But yeah, it was about, I think it got up to 7 acres. So not too bad, but it's still scary enough and close enough to us. So
no, absolutely.
We don't know what happened though, but
yeah, like when we first moved in here, there was all the big fires that were going on around last summer. Like up by the mountains, by Crestline, Ukipe, I think.
We were evacuated during that time for about...
Oh, okay.
We should have been out for 5 days, but my mom could only handle us for 2. So we got home after that.
Were you guys over there by the casino?
Yes.
Ish?
Yeah. Behind Walmart.
Oh, behind Walmart?
Yeah.
I don't know where that's at.
Oh,
okay.
Yes. So... yeah, it was scary, but thankfully we're good. But every time there's a fire, I'm like, babe, I think it's time to move.
Yeah, for the most part, it's been very green here. So I know when it starts getting very yellowy and orange, that's when you worry because, that fire could just come whooshing down.
Yes.
But, I think because the mountains provide a lot of snow and stuff, so it stays pretty nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice, man. I'm going to turn the camera around for these guys to see in the video, but afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. That's why I was like, my wife was like, oh yeah, go do it in your room, like, where I have like the chairs, where me and Ramon did it. Which shout out to Ramon.
Yeah, Ramon.
Yeah, I need more guests. So bring them my way. But I was like, nah, it's a beautiful day. Get some fan out here. I never get to use it.
Yeah, and normally I'm like horrible with hot flashes. So when you sit outside, I'm like, Okay, so I
You're
brought
not
a
that
fan.
old. I mean, what do you mean?
But it's beautiful. When we got here, I'm like, oh my gosh, it feels so good. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the breeze is like, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's got some good breeze. And we got the fan up here, so it's nice.
Oh, that breeze too.
Yeah. But yeah, I got to do some more outside. I'm actually doing, which by the way, if you guys are available, if you guys are in the area, I'll be in Riverside. I'm going to be promoting my neighbor, his new store that he's opening. It's Carnes y Mariscos. I recommend. It's a grand opening. It's his third store. He literally did it from like his backyard selling meats. He was a butcher and all that.
That's
so
awesome.
He's a self-made man, which I give much props. You know, he's helps out the community a lot. And we actually had a clip from the show. It actually went viral. I was like, wow, this is the first time I ever had a clip. It was like 35,000 views or something.
Nice.
And I was like, and that's mostly because he's probably got like 180,000 followers.
Hey, but now I'm sure you have more too.
Yeah, I'm getting a little, the little, what do you call that? The after, or
the drop.
Residuals? Something like I know I'm not using the right words, but something like along those lines, yeah. I'm getting a little after effects from that, so yeah, props to him.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna help him out.
What day is that?
Tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
12 noon.
Okay.
Riverside, off Van Buren. Carnes y Mariscos, so for those listening, come stop by. I'll be out there interviewing people in line. So I got my little microphone, my little wireless microphone set up, so I'm gonna just hook it up to the phone and then just, interview people.
That's awesome. And I think this is the last weekend of semi-good weather, not too hot. So
yeah, it's cooling down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should be good, nice tomorrow.
Hell
good
yeah.
turnout for them, hopefully.
Oh, it was so disgusting because I was in Vegas yesterday. It was like 107. Oh my goodness. I had to walk
dry heat or humid?
Oh, it was dry. It was just like I was walking and I could just feel the heat on my back. I was wearing like my black company shirt and I could just feel like all that heat just
cooking.
beating on me. I was like, get out of here.
If we go to Vegas, my best friend lives out there.
Okay, nice.
It's usually, if we do, it's between October and like March maybe, because we will not go in the summer. We went one time when I graduated from Cal State and hot
props
as
to that.
heck. Thank you. Many moons ago. But it was so hot. I'm like, never again will we come out in this heat.
yeah, it gets really bad. Yeah, that's why like a lot of these casinos, they realize like, we got to connect them all together.
Yes,
we got to have like a little tunnel system or something, where they can just kind of walk from one to the other to the other.
Yeah, we're thankful for that for sure. Oh my gosh, Morongo. Have you been to their pool, their little lazy river out there?
Oh, okay. For whatever reason, I was thinking of Yamava.
Oh,
the one right here. Well,
yes, that's right.
Where
by
you
us.
guys live?
Yes, horrible traffic, but
yeah,
it took us.
Have you guys checked out any of the shows? Because they've gotten some pretty big headliners.
Yes, I went to the Ashanti and Ja Rule concert.
Okay.
Oh, that was amazing. My teen girl self was so fangirling big time, but and that was, I think, it. But we'll go to like the George Lopez
all right
restaurant. They have good drinks there.
They had like the chili peppers, because I know I just talked about them. They had them there like, I think this year or last year.
I think it was last year.
Okay, it might have been last year, and I missed them. I was like, man, like right in my backyard, and I missed them.
Yeah, I think they sold out pretty quickly too.
I'm sure they did, and I'm pretty sure they were probably like hundreds of dollars.
Oh yeah,
if not 1,000 or plus.
Yes,
because it's such an intimate little theater.
Even in the back, you can still. It's like a regular concert. Like, it's amazing how close you are.
The Offspring. That's where I went. It was the last concert. It was pretty amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like outside of country, I don't know that I'd go to other concerts just because they're so rowdy sometimes. Or like Ramon and them, they'll do the little mosh pits.
Okay.
My anxiety.
Well, yeah. Mosh pits is a whole nother animal,
Yeah,
for those, that obviously like were huge, like heavy rock metal dudes, like System of a Down, and so forth. Yeah, I mean, it gets pretty nutty in the mosh pit. But I love it when you get a good crowd, because even if you get knocked down, people will pick you up.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they encourage it. They encourage it, even females, to get in there. Like, come on, get in.
I listen to little kids too.
Okay. I haven't seen kids get in there.
Yeah, we'll just go down the rabbit hole with our daughter on the YouTube and just watch all of those. She's like, I totally do that.
It's funny you mention this because she was just telling me right now. She being my wife. I'm sorry. I gotta get better at that.
We're gonna insert a picture every time you say.
You know who you're talking
about. But the audience needs to know. So when I say her, I'm gonna say her. There we go. Nice steady shot.
Aww.
Okay. We were like, oh yeah, they're doing a baby rave. So they have raves for kids.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's all these kids songs, kids,
like kids
atmosphere. Yeah. And so I was like, they're doing a House of Blues. I forgot what of the other venues, but there was like, we should go. And I was like,
so are they just gonna give them a bunch of sugar and?
Yeah. And they have like the little light sticks and all that.
Cute. That is
but
adorable.
I am totally down for it. As long as they have like adult drinks,
Yeah.
They have like mommy and daddy drinks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Or even if not, we could just pregame it.
Pregame. That's why I like country concerts because the tailgating.
Which this generation, I don't know if you guys have heard of pregaming.
I know.
I feel like this new generation is discovering all these new things. Like, let's just bake bread at home. Let's, make coffee at home.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's safer and
let's
cheaper.
not go to Dutch Brothers or, wherever.
Yes. Yeah, I would make everything. I even I try to do my own nails.
Okay.
What else do we do?
Which I'm going to try that candy now. So
yeah, try it.
I'm going to lean over and grab some.
Yes, these and my tamarindo apples are like probably my favorite. Delicious.
Bomb skis.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those ones, Gushers, Nerds, those are like the most popular.
Oh,
and then of course the caramel apples. What's your favorite caramel apple? Sorry.
I know I got a mouthful of candy. I don't think I have a favorite caramel apple.
Do you like caramel?
There is just only caramel apple.
So I put tons of toppings, different toppings. I'll do strawberry
caramel
crunch, peanuts.
And peanuts.
There you go, yeah. Classic chocolate.
Yeah. I've never heard of that one.
Or Oreos on top.
Apples and Oreo.
So, okay, it's really good. Or I'll do that with white chocolate and mazapan.
Lots of what?
Mazapan. Like
mazapan?
The little peanut butter, the rose candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm, mazapan.
Okay. What is that even?
Deliciousness. It's like the best
I mean, that's
is
subjective.
Like the inside of a Reese's, but drier. Like more like.
Okay, so it's peanut buttery-ish,
yeah, it's
chalkish.
like velvety, I guess.
But is it peanut butter?
Mm-hmm. No.
Is that peanut butter base? Is that the base?
Peanut based, not quite peanut butter.
Okay.
I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of comments on this.
I know. Which, by the way, if you guys are listening, in the comments.
I'm so sorry.
So yeah.
I am always down to learn new things, so please teach me new things.
It's funny because like my wife was saying that she was watching this one TikToker or people on Reels. She like tells people like, this is how you do the recipe, and it's very much, she's very loud and very like, just do this,
right?
Step by step. And I was like, got her to do some recipes.
Oh, good. What's your favorite one so far?
Well, there was one where we tried to make some chicken nuggets for him.
Oh,
and it was like these little chicken nuggets and broccoli and cheese. And then you kind of just like mash them up and put them in the oven and then bomb.
Yeah, my husband did a mountain of mashed potatoes.
Okay.
And then the little dinosaur nuggets. And then what did we have coming out of it? I don't remember. Gravy. It was so cute.
Okay.
And
broccoli trees.
Oh, nice.
It was adorable. So yeah, we try to play with our food too.
There you go.
So make it, and we're trying to teach her how to cook too because I know about 4 dishes. I
just don't want to rely on men for shit.
That too.
There you go.
Yeah, that's gonna be a whole other segment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we want her to be, just self-sufficient and she loves showing
that's very
videos.
important for this generation, this new generation, to just be very self-reliant and learn as many skills as possible and seek the knowledge, if like who was it? I like to pull out these random quotes, but it's like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So it's like, yeah, when someone's out there searching, like, I want to learn how to, they'll look for the teacher. They'll look on a video. They'll look on a person that's done it. You know, it's like, it's all on them.
Yeah. Yep. YouTube University.
Yeah. YouTube, TikTok, Reels, you know, wherever you can find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, I just had a brain fart. Oh my gosh. See, you threw me off. He's up here.
Well, I don't know. YouTube University. Yeah. Yes. And then you said going on from to what? About
reels
what?
And cooking.
Well, you do everything. You do the candy, you do the sourdough. I mean, is there anything you want to try?
Yeah, opening up a business.
Okay.
I like just storefront. That would be my ultimate goal.
It's a challenge now, just the whole brick and mortar style of doing things. I mean, that's definitely, if you have a fan base, if you have your clientele, I mean, you keep them coming, obviously, so you can have consistent revenue.
Yes.
And then obviously keep the lights on.
Right.
But for the most part, I feel like a lot of people are just doing their own little digital storefronts.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So thankfully, that's what's kind of kept me busy, and then work. But yeah, I feel like every weekend we have something, and then I have a vendor event at the end of the month. If anyone wants to come down to that, with KJ
we're always
Market.
down for networking.
Cool. Yeah.
We actually just went into this place downtown San Bernardino. We went to this Edgar Allan Poe speakeasy kind of show.
Cool.
And we were just amazed by the architecture and the events that they host. And they're like, yeah, we host like a little mixer event for like business people to come every third Thursday of the month.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, she just missed it because I was going to go with her, and I was out in Vegas. And we were going to go, and like, oh yeah, we missed it. But, you know, that's something if you guys are interested in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I try to stay, you know, as local as possible. And then I think the furthest we've gone is probably Anaheim, I think. So, but yeah, it's KJ Markets, and she was my first vendor event. Okay. And I've been with her now, I think 3 or 4 years. So, yeah, she's amazing. She also takes our pictures. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some professional photos done by this one photographer ourselves, but you know, the art of doing the pictures is there, but the business side of having things delivered on time and communicating, it wasn't there.
Oh yes, yeah, and thank God, yeah, communication is a big thing. So
yes,
yeah, she's on it, and yeah, it's how did the pictures go? Like, I feel like the prepping is the most stressful part. Did your wife pick out all of your outfits, or?
No, the outfit part was fine because we just picked our own outfits. The thing was, you know, the photographer, she picked the poses.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, it was kind of weird too because...
They kind of feel awkward sometimes?
Yes, and I'll say why. Because it was very like, oh, you know, you're shorter because she's wearing heels. So here, let me put something for you to stand on. And I was like... I'm not bothered. She's not bothered. Exactly. Like, are you bothered?
Right. Yeah, why are you making this an issue?
Like, I don't give a fuck.
Right. Yep. I know. I just asked them, like, can you just hide my role?
But I guess she has it in her mind. You know, the artist is like, no, you know, I want to do it this way. I want to picture you guys. So, you know, she put something there for me to stand on.
Right.
Which I didn't care. I mean, whatever. And it didn't make a huge difference. It was just kind of like, okay, I'm standing on something, so whatever.
Yeah, thanks.
But yeah, that was the one funny thing.
Was it outdoor, I'm assuming?
No, it was in a studio.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'll give you guys the tour afterwards. But yeah, we have our hallway here just kind of decked out with her photographs, they're great photos. But it just took forever. It's like, hey, we paid you. Like, where are our photos?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm doing the edits. You know, they got to do the whole editing, just touching them up. And some of them were okay to touch up, but some of them, when we received them, they had like this weird kind of a green tint to it. And I don't know what it was, but like when we previewed them, they were fine. The color spectrum was fine. But when we downloaded them, they had this green tint. So I was kind of like, what the fuck? So I had a
weird.
screenshot in the preview.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was weird. And me,
Yeah.
I'm the tech guy, so I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck, I can't figure it out.
Oh, well, then I'm gonna have to bring my laptop so you can help me for some tech issues. But do you guys print back to the pictures? Do you guys print out all your pictures that you have done? I feel like I'm like 4 years behind.
Don't.
Okay.
Ish, because we have like obviously digital everything, but the ones we do have, we kind of send them to this one framing place, the tiles.
Okay. Yes.
Have you seen those ones, the magnetic tiles that you got? So I have those kind of draped around here, if you can tell through there.
Oh, cool.
And then also over there too. Well, those ones in the hallway, I'll show you. They're metal, so they have this nice. Beautiful gloss to them, almost kind of glass looking,
real shiny.
and they're on metal.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And other ones are canvas, so they have like the canvasy look.
Yeah. My husband likes the canvas ones too. We have that in the entryway.
Yeah.
But we're about 4 or 5 years behind on pictures, getting them developed. So.
Yeah, I got to catch up on some new ones.
Yeah, it's hard. I was going to print out my friend that you mentioned, the magnetic ones. My friend makes little magnetic tiles too. So
there you go.
I'm like, I think I'm gonna do that for good little gifts for families and stuff.
Yeah, and they're like little, what is it, like 10 by 10? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty small. Yeah.
Sorry. Water break.
No worries. I'll just edit this part out. We're just having a drink.
I'll have some candy too.
Which, by the way, the candy is really good.
Thank you.
So I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna try that sourdough. So whenever you can, so send it over. You have the address, so just boop. I'll pay for the shipping.
The birds may take it away though. The little birds, they're like, ooh.
Yeah, no, we're trying to get rid of them.
They're so cute though. We have them. I guess I just found out what type of bird I have. Tattooed on the back of our ears.
Oh, really?
They're matching. We got matching ones at one of my vendor events.
Are they swallows? Oddly enough, I'm infested by swallows.
It's just confirmation we were meant to be here.
There you go. Yeah, it's a sign. Yeah. There you go.
That's funny.
Yeah. Who would have thunk it? And you guys are relatively close, so
Yeah,
we're actually, my wife and I we're thinking of hosting this sommelier. I don't know if you heard of that.
I've never heard of it.
Okay, that's the word she used, so I'm probably butchering it. No, it's sommelier, or it's like a wine and food pairing type thing.
Okay.
So if you guys are available, because obviously we're always looking for couples to hang out with.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, we can relate now.
And sourdough bread pairs well with wine too, and the berries and the cheese.
Which, FYI, my brother-in-law makes the best I'm saying it bad.
Charcuterie. We just call it charcuterie for short.
he did this like triple, quadruple deck.
How cool.
Just decked out with everything. And I was like, oh my God, it looks so fancy. Like, dude, you got to start doing it on the side.
Yes, that is
speaking
great
of side
hustle.
hustles. Yeah.
Have you seen the little cup charcuterie? Like their little coochie cup. Well, I call them coochie
cup?
boards. Yeah.
Did you say coochie?
We call them coochie boards just because it's easier than charcuterie.
Yeah, it is, because I'm like, charcuterie.
Sorry, is this a family show?
No, it's free for all.
Okay.
Anytime YouTube asks me, like, is this kid friendly? I'm like, no, I don't think it is.
Hey, I've been doing so good this whole time. But
no, it's okay. Feel free.
But yeah, they're so cute. They'll just put like a little piece of salami, little olive, cheese, and I'm like, oh, on the go.
In a cup? I can't imagine just...
I know. Just little.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah. You can pick it, but I can't imagine that as a cup.
Yeah. People are very creative these days. There's so many different business ventures out there.
I think people could do a lot of stuff. I think it's the business side that probably derails people.
Yes.
As far as just being able to market, being able to...
Depending what county you're in.
Yeah, and just, because it's a lot of effort. I mean, I do this for fun. And it's still a lot of work, but it's fun for me. So if it wasn't fun, then I'm like...
Right, exactly.
I don't care. Why would I want to do work?
Yep, exactly, yeah.
But when it's fun, why not?
Exactly. And everything that like we do, we benefit from it too. So whatever extras we can share with our friends, our neighbors. Yeah, our neighbors are good supporters. So
That's good.
Yeah. So or our coworkers, they benefit a lot from our leftovers. So
There you go. Yeah.
and now you'll benefit from bread even more now.
Yeah. I love sourdough. My mother-in-law too. She lives with us as well, so she loves sourdough.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Like I was kind of like, well, whatever on sourdough, but then she started like buying it more, and I was like, okay, I love it.
Yeah, and I feel like homemade sourdough tastes a little bit different than the store-bought sourdough.
Really?
It's not as like sour or that tang unless you have it ferment a little bit longer in the refrigerator.
Okay. Like let it sit a little longer,
Yes.
or what is that when you let it kind of just sit out in a bowl and let it rise?
Yes.
That's almost a way of fermenting it, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh,
Proofing?
proofing it.
Okay.
Why can I not think of words right now? It's coming back again.
Well, you're not nervous. You're doing a lot better than my other guests. So when I had this displayed, like you're not seeing yourself on camera, like how I am seeing you on camera. But when I had my friends kind of like the display, I had it projected on my TV, and they were like, like you could see themselves, and they could see me, and all. It was like, it was a little more stiffer, you know.
Yeah.
But hey,
No,
like, I think I
this.
feel this experience is actually a little better.
Yeah. Yes.
So.
Because you can hear the birds and breeze.
We can hear the birds, but yeah, I think it's like you're not looking at the screen.
Right.
And, we get to enjoy this
It's just a
nice
chill setup.
Yeah.
Casual.
Which, by the way, I said I was going to show the audience, so here you go, audience. See, and the camera is glaring, so you can't really see it. No, it's out of focus.
Womp womp. Well, it's beautiful.
Because I'm seeing the preview on this, and it's just not there. Yeah, it just shows a bunch of glare. But I will try to post it for you guys. It's really nice.
Yeah, it is. You just need a hammock out here and then take a nap. I think your wife.
I think we got
needs
the
one out here.
couch.
That's
true. As everyone can see, and the rocking chair.
Yeah.
That's all we really need.
A little fire pit. Nice.
Yeah. It's a little fire pit thing, a majigger right there. So.
Have you roasted marshmallows on that yet?
No. Actually, no. I think my wife did. She had a little brunch thing here with her friends, where she hired the masseuse people to come out. She had the brunch going on. The mimosas. Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
awesome.
I got tongue tied. But yeah, she had that going on as well, because I think it was a very cold morning, so she had that kind of to keep them warm. And I think roasted some s'mores or some marshmallows.
Yummy. Those are our favorite. Well, I make a s'mores caramel apple too, but going back there. But yeah, my daughter, anytime we have marshmallows, can we roast this? Can we roast this? Or she'll just take the whole bag and eat them like that too.
Yeah, I probably haven't had a s'more in forever. I'm waiting for him to get old enough to be like, okay, I'm going to take you camping or do stuff like that. But he's so little. He just turned 18 months. So he's still a baby still, even though he's like running around like a full grown toddler.
There's still too many things out there to watch out for. But
just like, please be careful, because there's so much cement and little sharp corners. I was like, it gets scary for me.
Yeah.
He's already fallen so many times.
Builds character. No, I was a worrywart like big time. I still am with my daughter, and I don't think that ever goes away. So.
It never does. And I think that's one of actually the advice that Ramon said. It's like, no, it wasn't Ramon. It was another friend. But he gave some great advice, which I'll go back to. My friend said, like, you're automatically a parent, a dad, the minute you start worrying. And then guess what? It never goes away. It's like you're always going to worry. And I was like, you're right. Even from, like, knowing, like, hey, you're going to be a dad, it's like automatically right there.
Right.
It's like it's like we were both on the same page. We were, like, almost didn't let ourselves be happy until he was here. It was kind of like, it's like, I don't know, like, anything could happen.
Right.
And he got here, and even then it's like, well, I don't know, like, anything could happen, because there's SIDS and whatnot, and we're just like so worried, and just it took a minute to be like, okay, I think we could be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It took me a month, and then I broke down crying when I realized that was mine. It took me a month.
Yeah.
I was on the couch with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I try to share with her. It's like when did it like sink in? It's like it took a while.
Right.
It didn't click for me. Like, yeah, you're a dad, and those guys are crying. They're like, oh, I'm holding my child. Like, well, I need to form a bond. So it's like it took me a while. For you guys
too, because with women, we're we can feel the baby.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then
you feel all that connection. Exactly.
Yeah, and he would lay his head on my belly and stuff and play the guitar. And yeah, thankfully all of that music helped when she was a baby. That's how we would get her to bed too.
Made fun of her
while
she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Not Toni, the baby.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, and she bought this little sonar thing where she would put it on the belly. She had to hear the heartbeat.
Yeah.
And it was like, if she didn't, it'd be like freaking out. And I was like, okay. Now I'd kind of feel the same way too. It'd be like, like, what happened?
Yeah, and I feel like people don't talk about that stuff.
No, they don't.
It's just like, oh, you're pregnant, you have the baby. Okay.
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, it's automatic. Like, yeah, oh, you're pregnant, boom, right away.
Right.
And they don't realize, the people that go through like miscarriages and go through like, stuff that goes wrong. Even SIDS. It's like that's a thing. And I was like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, we did you do any of the parenting classes? We did a few, and even those classes were like, oh my gosh, they're gonna trust, or like we have a whole human to take care of. And we had that epiphany the other day too. We're just laying there, we're like, we're really fucking parents. Like
we still say that
we're raising a whole ass other human.
We're like, look at this. It's like this is us. This is like our little child to take care of. And it's really just like it takes that cliches. It takes a village.
A village,
yeah. It really does.
It does,
because that makes the best people. It's like obviously you got enough interaction, you got enough opinions, you got enough everything from every perspective to kind of just help it along the way. So I'm all for family. I'm all for friends. I'm all for like hosting stuff. I mean, we hosted Easter here, and it was like fun because I got to have like all the family members that normally wouldn't come over.
Right.
But because, he's just turned 1, he's running around collecting eggs.
It's exciting. That's so fun, just living through them too, like seeing their happiness through their eyes, just kind of like rediscovering. Like you try to project yourself kind of like, I remember when I was his age. Or like this and that, so. Yeah, I don't remember anything. But yeah.
It's funny because like, I tell her, my wife, I know I'm getting better-ish, but I tell her like, no, I remember like my first memory was like my baptism. I was probably like 2, I don't know, ish. But yeah, I remember like my Nina, like I remember like my first like waking up memory was like her changing my diaper.
Wow, I don't remember like that far back at all. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole other issue right there, but...
Well, what's your first memory, if you don't mind me asking, that you could remember way back?
Well, I mean, are we talking happy, sad?
Anything. It's a memory.
Well, I think just the one I always go back to, and I'm sure I remember stuff even before then.
Well, let's go. That's the one I want to know, the first
16, one. That's like where I remember everything, and it was before my parents really found Jesus, so it was not a traditional Sweet 16. It was more for like older kids, and there's plenty of alcoholic beverages and food, and I'm like thinking back now, like why did you do that? I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying all this too, but that's my first memory, I think, so far that I can remember. I'll get back to you.
I mean, that's you were old, so I mean, come on.
I was in the dance group, so that was probably like 8 or 9. I was in the ballet folklorico. Tongue twister.
So I'm thinking like kindergarten or before kindergarten. Like, can you think of a first memory?
No, probably like kindergarten, like sitting in the carpet, reading books. But yeah, no, not really.
It's funny because I talked to somebody about, their first memory, and they said, yeah, my childhood is just completely wiped.
Yeah.
I'm like, you really can't remember anything?
I'm all #trauma. No.
And I was going to bring that up, but you brought it up first. Yes, and I think that's probably it. So
Yeah. And I mean, I would say, I had a great, from what I remember, like, my parents loved me the best that they knew how. Like, I had my friends, family. All my family, like, got together all the time. I don't feel like I had a bad childhood or upbringing. It was just more, just things that I do differently now in my family. So, yeah, but...
Circumstance, yeah.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah, for sure. But thank God for therapy.
Okay, yeah, and you can say that with some laughter.
Yeah, yes. So and thank God for my husband, my best friend.
Absolutely.
And,
and that's what a lot of people, which I advocate all the time. It's like you need that support structure.
Yes.
You need that professional help. You need, everybody around you to kind of help you be that better person and kind of put your ego aside, put your pride aside, put your emotional baggage aside.
Right. And I don't know if it's also like a generation thing, a ethnicity thing, because, with
it kind of is.
Like, you don't talk to people about your problems. Like, it's your problems. You keep it to yourself. Like, what happens in this house, stays
Well,
in this
I think
house.
that it plays a big part. It's like, we don't talk about feelings.
Right.
You just keep going, and then, like, well, some people get left behind because, it's like, hey, I'm still dealing with the shit that just happened. And everyone's like, no, just keep going. Just keep
you're
going.
fine.
Yeah, just keep going. Keep going. No,
Yes. Yep. Which is great to a point, but then it's like, hey, you got to come back when you're ready and work through that stuff again. So, it's crazy. But.
It is. And I that's the part I wanted to, like, explore more and kind of, like, give that platform to my guest. It's like, it's okay to talk about things that obviously cost you harm, and you just got to learn how to process it. Because if you don't process it, and you kind of just shove it down in those kind of dark spaces, it comes out in rage. It comes out in kind of feelings and emotions that you can't really comprehend, almost like a child. If I were to kind of, you kind of throw tantrums, you kind of throw like blame to somebody else. You kind of process it subconsciously in ways you don't even realize.
For sure. And you project it out on everybody else sometimes. So and I don't know if I read it or if my husband sent me a reel or something, but it's like basically we're all a bunch of just 8-year-old.
That was in the Let Them.
Oh, it was in the Let Them book.
Okay.
Yeah.
She said we have to approach every adult as an 8-year-old child.
Yes.
That cannot self-regulate.
Yes.
That cannot self-regulate. Yeah, and that's
everywhere.
Facts.
Workplace, family, friends.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like how I even come across like a client, a customer, a colleague, anybody that's going through something that, like, okay, is it really something I just said and did?
Right.
Or is there something else behind that anger that I just got the brunt force of,
Right. Yes.
And I kid you not, I've kind of done that myself.
Oh, yeah. We're all guilty of that. Yeah, for sure. And
I'll bring up this one story, which is real quick, but I snapped at a client that was just egging me on about a certain project. And I told them, you know what? And I just went off on them. And then I told them, like, I called them later. And I told him, I apologize. It has nothing to do with you. I just had a newborn. I haven't had any sleep. And I am going through other projects that have other issues, and I am sorry.
Yeah.
That's not me, and I apologize. And I took
awesome.
responsibility for it. He didn't reply to me. But I later texted him as well, and I reiterated on the next meeting.
Right.
But, man, did I go off.
But you apologized.
I was like, what are you going to do? Like... This is your problem because you caused this. This was the issue because of you, not because of me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to do whatever. Yeah, I just went off. I felt bad because that wasn't me.
Yeah. Were you hungry? Oh, you said you were tired. Were you hungry too?
No, it wasn't even hungry, but he just caught me on a bad mood.
It was just piling up.
Yeah, it just like a little powder keg, just, a little spark.
Yes. I'm good.
Have you ever had those moments? I got to ask. Can you recall like an anger, rage-filled moment where you just went off on somebody
that I could do every
or
time.
somebody else?
I don't think I've done that before. No.
I want to hear this.
I'm all this week. No.
This week.
Yeah.
Well,
Today, what did I do? No, I've been good today. Well, shit. Going through with, therapy, you guys are just going to find everything out about me. So, recently been diagnosed with ADHD. So, I've been taking medication.
Which is
for
common,
that. Yes, very common. And I think everybody has a little bit of, well, no, we have 2 friends that don't. But, anyways.
I think a lot of people are also self-diagnosed ADHD. And my wife says that. She's like, I'm self-diagnosed.
Yeah. TikTok. I feel like they originally diagnosed me.
So, I mean,
and then
let me ask you.
I did go to the doctor, though.
what kind of like made you, were you self-aware that maybe you might be?
No.
Did you have little traits or do little things?
Even when I tell people now, they're like, really? Like, I think with some females, it presents itself differently than in males. Like, for my husband, if I can use you as an example, with his ADHD, his presented with like a lot of the anger outbursts.
Okay.
And I actually started my journey with all of that because of him. So again, because he was reading books and
which I'm all for reading books and like learning, just self-improvement.
Yeah, and I think he's done like 30 books so far in the past couple years.
Props.
But he was reading books and then they mentioned ADHD and he's like maybe. So we just did a little test online and I think he got like 48 out of the 50 questions like positive for ADHD. So then we're like, okay, let's make an appointment. So then he ended up taking medication, completely changed like our marriage, like crazy. We could actually just have conversations without
no, that's good.
Identify my triggers.
Right. Yeah, so he was able to identify his triggers more.
There you go.
So then there were more conversations that we had, and I'm like, maybe.
So I kind of have a question just from, somebody from the outside. When people say triggers, is that something that's linked to trauma?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it could be...
it's your body's way of letting you know that a boundary that you've set for yourself to keep yourself safe has been crossed. And it presents itself in anger.
Which, by the way, I'd love to have you be a part of this if you want to sit here and I can pass you the mic.
You guys are talking about all this stuff, and there's tons of stuff that I want to
like
on, but I'm like,
No. Here, pull up the little seat. Yeah.
Yeah, he's loud enough.
So here, I love to kind of hear some of that. You can hold the mic.
Okay. What do you want to know?
What you were just saying?
I just that part, how you were just mentioning before I cut you off.
No, triggers are just your body's way of letting you know that a boundary's been crossed for something that you set for yourself that presents itself as anger. Anger is a secondary emotion, so you have to trace back what the trigger was to find out how that boundary was crossed, so you can deal with the trauma that came from that trigger being formed.
Yeah. So a lot of our arguments, we weren't even arguing with each other.
We were just triggering each other to trigger.
And I'm very stubborn. We're like, no, I'm going to have the last word.
And I'm very stubborn.
And it was just like, So then actually fast forward now that I'm on medication, like I will listen. I'm not like as combative. I can have a conversation and not have so many squirrel moments. You've seen some of my squirrel moments here, but not as many as I would normally have. It's just,
and
it's
what
crazy.
would a squirrel moment be considered?
Like where I'm in the middle of a conversation and I'm like, wait, what?
Conversation jumps.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
kind of like Doug.
Yes.
Squirrel.
Yes. Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yes.
But
so that happens a lot.
I think to answer your question earlier about what she was trying to start talking about was how ADHD presents itself in men or boys. It presents itself as an emotional disturbance at younger ages and carries on through adulthood. They'll start going to jail more, doing just more
Fighting.
impulsive behavior. Women, it presents itself as more of a social butterfly effect with their social life. So when women are more chatty, more talkative with ADHD, that's part of the whole thing. But when it carries into adulthood, it goes really unnoticed.
Very.
And especially with men. And so taking medication can definitely change and help your marriages or relationships long term. And I would recommend any man doing that if you love your family. So
yeah, especially
Well said, man. I like. Well, it's just because I advocate, just for a lot of mental health for people, not just for mostly for males, because not a lot of us talk through the trauma, talk through the issues that they have.
Yeah, everyone just stays so surface, I feel.
Yes.
I think it's an spoken that men are taught as they're raised by society that we need to just keep our opinions to ourselves, and we need to just be strong. And we are an island to ourselves, and a lot of men don't realize that, but as they grow, they build so much resentment in the relationships that they're not even realizing that they're building, because they're keeping it all in, trying to be strong for their family or strong for somebody, and it really is just really weak. And it's sad knowing what I know now, that I didn't realize it when I was younger. But again, when I was younger, I didn't realize it because I was not medicated. So.
Well, and I don't feel like it was as known or researched back in our...
Oh, yeah. No, the doctors told my mom to just beat my ass more, and I got my ass beat every day.
Yeah. So I think, like you said, with boys, it's more their little traviesos. Like, oh, they're just bad, like, whatever. It's not so much like, hey, they may need a little extra help. And we were very I was very anti-medication. But I saw such a change in our relationship. Yeah. So I'm like...
So you bring up a lot here, and let me unpack this real fast. I get worried about this because my wife, okay, like, it's so easy to traumatize a child. So it's kind of like we're almost like kind of a little walking on eggshells. Like, let's not do this. Let's not do that. Let's make sure he's around the right circle. Make sure he's doing the right things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're kind of like on that same kick of like, hey, we got to be very mindful of everything that's around him, because again, those traumas carry over, and guess what? They're going to carry with him for a long time and come out and manifest in ways that we don't even know.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the part where we realize, like, well, as a parent, we're got to be self-aware of that.
Exactly.
Are we ready?
Right.
Because a lot of people, they just say, fuck it, let's become a parent.
Yeah.
It's going to strengthen our bond, or, just blah, 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 on the whim, kind of like, hey, whatever, it happens. Let's just go with it.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So being a parent is a huge, huge responsibility. And just now that I am a parent, I realize what a huge responsibility, because exactly that, we're talking about all this. We're talking about the things that happen, we're like the conclusion of the shit that happened to us as children.
Right.
It's like, I grew up poor, so now I'm buying all the stuff I wanted when I was a kid.
Exactly.
That's just one thing.
Yeah.
So just realize that there is so many things that kind of develop and manifest that you don't even realize subconsciously.
Right.
It's there.
Yeah.
Because you were a child and you went through that shit.
And your parents were children and went through that, carried it and passed it on to you. And then their parents did the same to them. That's why it's okay. But inevitably, it all comes down to breaking that chain. And a lot of people, I think, like what you were saying earlier, it breaks my heart to see people live their lives like that. My mom just recently started listening to me when I told her she needed to get some medication, get some help, therapy and stuff, because of her trauma she went through. Negating my own feelings towards the situation. But sometimes you got to just drop people and separate yourself, love them from a distance. But people just float through life with no help, and it's really sad.
Help doesn't make you weak. I feel like it makes you stronger.
But men are taught that it makes you weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that part, exactly that, because we grew up in this machismo culture of the Hispanic man, that, you're tough. Even just, guys in general, we're meant to just suffer in silence. We're those cowboys that just walk off into the distance of the sunrise. It's like, we could talk about it. It's okay. you know, and we could unpack it. And what I always say, I know it's another cliche, but it's like you get to decide what emotional baggage you take on your journey. You can leave that emotional baggage behind.
Exactly.
And pass to your children.
Yeah.
Yeah, and passing to your children is the thing I think that broke me into. Well, I think when you almost left me was what started my whole epiphany.
Yeah.
But just not wanting to pass any of this shit on to my daughter was really rough. Giving her the medication was really rough too. But I wanted to do the opposite of what my mom did for me. And I'm like, you know what? My mom never medicated me. Fuck it. Give her the medication. And it's actually improved her school so much. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. And she probably we could probably up the dosage a little bit, but they don't always have just uppers. The stuff we're taking is atomoxetine. It's I think it produces more serotonin, which gives you a dopamine hit, but it doesn't. There's no amphetamine in it, so I can take it and pass my CDL test without popping dirt for amphetamines.
Yeah.
So
there's options
out there. Diets, all kinds of stuff. It just takes you giving a crap about your kids or family enough to.
Or yourself.
Well, yeah, yourself, big one.
There you go, that part. Exactly. You gotta love you, and you gotta love the people that are around you, and you gotta realize that, like, hey, you want the best for them, you want the best for you, you want to be the better person to be around them.
Yeah.
So that way you could just not be an asshole,
right?
Not be a dick, not be a bitch, not be this, that on a tangent. Yeah, and not have to. I went through this little mental midlife crisis back in 2018, in which I bring up all the time in my old podcasts, and it was just one of those where I went on a rampage. I was just kind of like attacking the people around me, and I realized, oh, this is what I always hear about, like, you know, on movies or TV shows or this and that, like midlife crises. Oh, I get it. Okay, well, I don't like my job. Oh, let me just change it.
Right.
And I did.
Yep.
And that was, for me, it just seemed like a simple fix, but it took a little self-discovery of realizing, oh, I get it, I'm going through something.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes those some things are what help move you in that right direction.
Yes, absolutely. So I am all for advocating, you know, good mental health. I am all for advocating people just talking and realizing, like, you don't have to carry this. You don't have to, you know, pretend it didn't happen. It happened.
So many people out there who have been through similar, you know, situations that
I think in our lifestyle that we're in, we find out so much that people go through almost the exact same shit.
Yeah.
Religion, all that, and nobody talks about it. But what's crazy is actually talking to people and finding out, oh, we all grew up the same fucking way.
Yeah. We're all the same generation.
We seem to be the people we're talking to. We're like, wow, we seem to be the people actually giving a shit about our futures, not just, well, I don't know. I'm trying not to give.
Well, there is no, it's okay, because there is such a thing that I recall. I think we were watching some TV show, and my wife was all like, "Oh yeah, it's trauma bond." You know, that's the term that she used. Like,
bonding.
like, oh, your dad killed himself. Oh, my dad killed himself. Like, oh, okay, like this kind of, and that was on Beverly Hills 90210, by the way, which we were rewatched it from way back in the beginning.
Yes.
But yeah, absolutely, it's just that thing exactly. You kind of realize you run around and you talk to your community, you know, whatever your community is, and then you kind of realize, like, oh, okay, we kind of like have that similar thing, whether it's, you know, like, again, like I go back to, like, yeah, I'm buying all the shit I got because I grew up poor and I didn't get to buy the toys I wanted. Now I'm buying all my toys I wanted. You know, it's just those things like, oh yeah, you and me too, huh? Like, yeah, we're right there. So it's all those things in one.
Yep. Yes. But unpack that too.
Unpack it. Yeah.
Unpack it about shopping so much too, because that's one thing I learned. It could be something or nothing, because I had a really bad shopping problem.
Okay.
And
that was kind of my fault.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Maybe like, but now I don't shop anymore. So maybe you don't like your job. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was just
we all find outlets, you know, and sometimes voids to fill.
Mine is baking, so
you know, we all have to fill that void. You know, that we feel, that neglect, or, you know, something that's not there. And yeah, it's either shopping or whatever it is.
Yes, that little dopamine hit.
That little dopamine hit. I like this. So I'm glad we're bringing this up because that was kind of my original thing where I wanted to kind of really touch on and talk about was those things about just mental health, because it should be talked about, it should be brought up more, and we should be helping each other rather than kind of isolating people like, oh, that guy's a dick, like, don't talk to him, oh, that person's a bitch, let's just leave her alone, as opposed to like, hey, come here, like, what's going on,
Yeah, I see it every day at work, because I work for I'm not gonna say, but I work with construction field. And I see all these, like you were saying, machismo attitudes and stuff, and it's just like, I usually can figure a guy out real quick, and I'm like, oh, he's tripping off this, or he's suffering through this. I'll try making hints, and I got one guy right now that I'm talking to about his mental health, and I'm glad he's actually listening, because a lot of guys just, oh no, I got it, or like, I'm not gonna be a bitch, I'm not a bitch, I'm not bitch made, you're a bitch made. Why are we talking about feelings? Go being a bitch. And I'm just like, all right, dog, I got you a hug whenever you need that. You know what I mean? But like, they try to act all tough, and it's just like I see them suffering in silence, and it's just like,
it
that's
doesn't
sad.
have to be that way.
Yeah, it's like,
and it's the defense mechanism. So again, I exactly that part. I'm in the construction game as well. Yeah. So it's like those barriers, those kind of self-defense mechanisms. It's all there for that reason, just because they don't want people getting too close because they've been hurt and they want to push them away. Yep.
But I think even just planting that little seed of, hey, you can talk to me, it'll come back around one day. And
it has. It has, definitely. And I'm grateful when it does, because like, I don't want people suffering like I suffered. There's no need for it, and that's frustrating for me. I think there is lack nowadays of people giving a shit about other people, and that frustrates me. It breaks my heart. I think that's why when you were talking about the protest, it was, you just felt the community, and it was just like, it was awesome. Just seeing, because I think with all the media and all that stuff that's going on right now, it's showing us how divided we are, and to see that
it's
brought I don't know what the word for this feeling is.
Firsthand, like, you just felt the energy.
It's like feeling the spirit of God.
Yeah.
I don't like religion, but I do believe in God. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, it's just feeling God's spirit.
I had goosebumps. Like, I kept showing him, like, look, like, just the love.
But like, I think that the lack of giving a shit for the homie next to you, or your people that you're around, is what we need to stop. We need to give a shit about those next to us, and look for people.
Yeah, just know everyone's going through something.
See people for who they are and help them.
Yeah, and we're all going through it, and it does break my heart, because we're going after the wrong people. We're going after the people that work hard, that suffer and can't work because they're living in constant fear. They're in their homes right now. Just I don't want to go out. I don't want to get taken away. I don't want to be away from my family, my grandkids, my kids, etc. It's such a heartbreaking experience, and that's why I was kind of telling my wife that we need to do more for the community, whatever we can do. We have a resident that is actually undocumented, and when he went to the senior center, we heard the tip from the network of people that work around there. They're like, hey, there's ICE raids going on at the senior center. And just to bring more of a spotlight to it, I mean, these seniors are low income, disabled senior residents. They're like, why would you? It's like, how much more low can you go?
Yeah.
It's like, how despicable.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more disabled and low income and everything.
Yeah. I think my buddy that I'm talking to at work about mental health, he was in Ontario a few days ago, and there was an ICE raid, and I could tell it affected him. Just seeing all the men run, and then ICE come in and try to take over or whatever, take them out of there. But it's just like, I don't think it affects people until they see it personally. And even my wife has had people tell her, oh, it's all fake news this, but it's not fake news. This is actually happening. There are people, they're rounding people up like cattle.
Right.
They're treating you like a prisoner. They're treating you like you are a number. And it's just sad that we're okay with it as a nation. I think we can be better, and we should be better as a nation.
Yeah. But piggybacking off of what you were saying about
Go ahead.
people helping, because I do follow a lot of different vendors and stuff, like I feel like our community has picked up a lot, and I see a lot of people either selling like the produce from the vendors that would normally sell on the streets. They're posting it now for them. So
okay, that's good.
I have another person who has been donating. She makes tacos, so they've been donating food to families and stuff. So there's just, if you want to help, you can.
I've seen a big outpour of people that have purposely seen the vendors that are on the streets, like, it's not safe, please get out of here, here's the money for whatever you would pay. And there's like old men that like, I need to work, like if I don't work I can't live, and they're in that bind that I can't just hide out because I need to live, otherwise it's just me, it's my family. So it's like they were in tears of like, are you sure, are you okay? I feel weird taking the money, but like no, absolutely take the money, because it's bad out here.
I think that's what's crazy too, is just seeing the job sites that I go to, they're getting less and less workers, and I'm just like, bro, they're going to destabilize the economy if they keep this up, because all these guys that are undocumented, whatever, here illegally or not, this country, anyways, there's less and less of them at job sites, so the work's going to get pushed back. Eventually, my job's going to be one of the first ones going to be affected by this. And so once that starts happening, it's going to be a trickle-down effect, and people aren't realizing how many illegals support our country and support our economy. And what he just reversed it for a few days on the farms. He wasn't going to raid the farms, and then that money. Yeah,
that was for like a minute, and then he reversed it. Yeah,
and then he reversed it, and it's just like, all right. And it's just like these job sites, the jobs are taking longer and longer for us to finish because there's nobody working them. Nobody wants to do the work that they're doing. And you get all these people saying, oh, they're this and that. And I'm just like, well, why don't you come take their job and finish their job on the time frame that they are allotted to finish these jobs. It's not going to happen. And you're definitely not going to work for what they're getting paid.
Yeah. No insurance, I'm sure.
No, nothing,
and we're going to feel it even more with the produce, the foods, the farmers, everything that's going to come down. I mean, we already kind of felt it with the eggs and the eggs prices because of that bird flu that we had going on. But we're going to feel it twice as hard when it comes to the farming and just knowing the fact that, guess what? No one's going to show up. And guess what? Prices are going to go up because there's only going to be a handful of people that are going to show up and do the work, and guess what? Prices are going to skyrocket. You're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot.
Right, yeah.
It's that old term, what they say, it's like kind of you're going to cut your nose off to spite your face kind of thing. And like that's what I kind of go back to thinking as the analogy for what's going on here, because it's like, you're doing too much. Yes. It's heartbreaking.
It's ridiculous. I don't even understand, or like I don't comprehend them. That's why I'm like, and I know it kind of caters to what you watch normally, like on Instagram.
Yeah, your algorithms that just
so that's
feedback.
What I do, and I'm sure I annoy the heck out of people, but I feel like I've cleared out everybody that matters now, or doesn't matter. But I feel like if we just keep sharing that information, like, hey, it's really happening, like it won't. I don't know, because I feel like if it's not in your face, it kind of just pushed under the rug.
Yeah, it's easy to just kind of skirt it under the rug. You kind of just ignore it. But it's become such a huge issue. Well, you're going to feel it on the prices. You're going to feel it on everything that happens. It's already pretty bad.
Yeah, especially
I don't like if there was a playbook to like really tank the economy. I mean, I think that this is it. Yeah,
we're doing great.
Yeah.
I was talking to her about finances. What was it, a couple months ago? Because I was just breaking down, and I finally just opened up to her about it. And I was just like, I feel like this is my responsibility. And she's like, no, you have a job. She's all, the economy's tanking, the prices of everything's going up. You're working as much as you can, and it's almost not enough because the economy is slowing down, and so it's just like she's like stop taking that burden
Yeah.
on yourself. And I'm like, well, I'm your husband. It's my job to know better. It's my job to figure that out. She's like, yeah, but she's like, we have to sell the house. Fuck it, sell the house. She's like, that's on the table. Like you stressing yourself out to the point of this is not good for you. And she's like, I don't give a fuck where we live. It's the fact that we're still together and loving each other. That's all that matters. And I was just like, okay, that's a point I didn't really think of. I was just like, I just got to provide. I've got to provide. And it's a lot of the guys at my job are going through the same thing. It's just like crazy. So it's just,
I know my industry is definitely being affected by it because we import a lot of what we do is those electric vehicle chargers that come from overseas, and because of these tariffs, because of these taxes, everything that gets put on this, it affects everybody in such a domino effect that you don't even realize it till you're on the ass end of it, and you're like, oh, there you go, buddy. Well, that's why all these things are going on because of that reason. So
That's crazy.
Yes, you said it all exactly. And that's how I feel like when I talk about it with anybody. It's so emotionally draining, so emotionally exhausting, and it's so frustrating. But I think there was all this anger or built up frustration that just like maybe they saw us, the Californians, the blue states, the major cities who are democratic, that are liberal, that are, hey, they got it good. Because guess what? Maybe we figured it out. Like, hey, just don't be a dick.
Right.
Love thy neighbor. It's okay.
Business.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And I think this is kind of like, again, just cut your nose off to spite your face type of thing. It's like, I don't care if we all burn, it's like, fuck it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think what's crazy too is just we grew up around racist people, or like people saying racist comments here and there. I didn't really see how, because my little brother's black. I grew up kind of colorblind, but I think the good thing that's happened with Trump is it brought out how much silent racism there is in America, and it's sickening to me, but in the same sense, I'm glad, because those people, I cut them out of my life. They already know if they want to start a purge, they're the first ones on my list. So I have no problem with that. It's just sad though. It's just like
it doesn't have to go there.
Yeah, it's just sad to hate people based on a skin color or based on differences. It makes no sense to me. But ignorance. I'm glad this is happening because it showed me how real it still is today, and how.
And I think just to kind of jump on that as well, it's just, I think there's so much just people that don't understand, I go back to the comment, it's like you fear what you don't know.
Yes.
So it's whatever you don't know, whatever the culture is, whatever the community is you don't know of, you fear it. And then when you fear it, you hate it because they're like, well, I don't know you. I don't know what you go through. Like, it's so that alone, I think there's so much ignorance to that where it turns into hate. It turns into just misunderstanding. It's just like, hey, we're all just trying to provide for our kids. We're all trying to just not be a dick. We're all just trying to live a better life. Yeah. And you're going to have parts of the community that do shit. You get, the less refined people that probably don't have dads, probably don't have moms, that probably just have trauma, that are acting out, lashing out. But you bundle those people in this larger community of like, oh, it's because they're black, it's because they're Mexicans, because of this, because of that. It's like, no, it's maybe that person is going through something that you just don't know.
Exactly.
You can reach out.
Yeah.
And give them some love.
Yeah.
That, exactly.
Right. Yep. And I think for our jobs too, like, from growing up, I've always been in customer service. Yeah, so I think being with all different types of people, that's kind of opened my eyes. So yeah, when you're not around other people outside of your little community, then...
Or you get someone like my biological dad who grew up in Missouri and Arkansas, extreme Trumper, extreme racist.
Yeah, when we went to visit, it was...
Yeah, we weren't allowed to go anywhere without him because people knew who he was in the community, so they were like, oh,
we'd
okay.
be safe.
Not like he was a big, cool guy or anything. He was a neighborhood tweaker, but everybody knew his tweaker ass. So, But yeah, he said if it's different down there, and it is, and it's sad that it's spread throughout our whole country.
And it's acceptable now.
I think if we get through all these hard moments, we need to do something to get rid of all this nonsense.
We're gonna play Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Throughout all of this.
I got my own views on that, but I never really liked them. And then,
that's a different.
Yeah, I get it. But it's the artist and the art. You know, you got to separate the two. But
he's promoted well. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That part. I will say yes. It's man, I had a thought and it went away.
You got a squirrel moment.
Squirrel. Yeah. Yeah, we need something, and that's the part I want, because I always talk about cliches, and here's the part: it has to get worse before it gets better. Yeah. It's always darkest before the dawn, and then maybe this is it. Maybe this is our purge. Maybe this is our time to kind of just really flush out the shitty shit of the shit, and then get that shit out, because maybe we've been constipated, and this is the diarrhea that needs to be purged out.
Yeah, there's a dude I saw. He what did he say? He said Trump is a necessary evil to a means of an end, because now that we know what the weakness is, we have a choice to either get rid of it or leave it, and it's looking like the majority of Americans want to get rid of it. Yeah. So here's the pivotal point where we can turn that, where the other side's using it as a negative way, but it's their last ditch effort to try to promote that hate. But hate will always get killed, or what did he say? Killed with love or something like that. Yeah, basically, Bob Marley did.
There you go, man. Right. Exactly. Or even just John Lennon, love is all you need.
There you go.
Yeah. The Beatles. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, we need those Beatles. We need those Bob Marleys. We need those Michael Jacksons. We need something to unite us. But there really isn't. There's nobody there.
Yeah. But I think just seeing that last protest was, like, cool.
Yes.
There's so many people still out there. Like,
I think any Chicano especially, you guys go out there and protest, man. Because, these guys that are running on these job sites I'm sure it would warm their hearts, if not show them the support that they actually have, because I can only imagine what it feels like to be herded like cattle and captured, to know that nobody gives a shit, not understanding that it's not giving a shit, it's just nobody wants to put their life in jeopardy to intervene. But in the same sense, maybe we need to be intervening. Like, I don't know. My views are very radical on certain things.
No, we get it, and I try to avoid the big controversies of politics, religion, and sexuality, because right. But it's becomes such a elephant in the room where you can't ignore it anymore. It has to be discussed. It has to be flushed out of we're all frustrated. We're all mad. We're all it's like some people had it good, some people didn't, and now I feel like the people that didn't now are going out. Now it's just kind of like they're trying to blow up everything. Like, you're hurting the economy. You're hurting everything. Tariffs, all this. Don't you realize it's hurting everybody? Yeah. So it's just going to get worse. And the immigrants, it fucking breaks my heart. Yeah. It just that to me. It just I see it and it just breaks my heart.
I think how it affects children is how it breaks me. It's just there's no need for children to be having their mom ripped from them or starving or any of that. There's no need for that. This is 2025.
Well, I was reading before we came here. There was in one of the detention centers in Texas, I guess they were giving all these stories, but one that stuck out was their baby. It was a 9-month-old baby, obviously needed formula, and they didn't give them filtered or clean water, so they had to use the tap water. And the baby ended up losing 8 pounds over a couple weeks, just because they kept throwing up or diarrhea and stuff. And I'm just the basic.
Where was this at?
In Texas.
Oh, Texas.
Yeah.
Check the facts on that.
Well, it just came up, so I have not yet, but I will get back to you.
And that's the sad part. It's there's such an ocean of misinformation and lies. It's people try to pull it out of context to fit their narrative and try to just mash it into their truth. It's
yeah. Yep.
It's so emotionally exhausting. It's so, but hey, I will gonna say, because we're on an hour and 43 minutes. But I love how this conversation turned, and I'm gonna save this for like another day. But we're gonna cut it, and we're gonna give you the last word. I want to hear your last thoughts. Whatever you want to. It's totally your platform to say whatever you want to say, and then I'm gonna just shut up right now.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for giving me the platform to talk about my baby, my business, my husband. And just getting back to the basics of loving each other, caring for each other, and don't be an asshole.
That's really what I always boil it down to.
Yeah.
Like, don't be an asshole.
It's
Don't
not
be a
that
dick.
hard.
It's
It's
not that
so
hard.
much easier just to be nice to someone than it is to have my stink face. Yeah.
But then
we're working on that.
It goes back to what I always say, like, or what we were just talking about. It's like, well, what's their trauma?
Yeah.
What are they holding on to? What's the cause of that? What's behind it? Everything that just you don't realize they're going through something as well too.
Exactly. Yep. So just be a little gentle.
That part.
On yourself and each other.
Well, with that being said, thank you guys for being in the audience, listening to us, and I hope you guys share whatever comments, and I hope to have you guys show up tomorrow. I'm having the event for my neighbor Luis. Carnes Mariscos. We're going to be out there interviewing people. I want to get your guys' opinions, your thoughts. Talk to me about anything. All right? And have a good one.
Thank you.